So hi, welcome to this podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with
Maria from Future Palace.
And we're asking some questions today about the upcoming album Distortion. Some congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
Actually, I haven't even thought about that so much yet. I haven't even noticed how many people reacted because we released a single at the same day. And while when is this going to be released? I'm not sure what I can spoil, but I think I can say that. But today we will announce that we will release another song on this week, Dream State. So it's the last time we announced the album was with a recent song, The Echoes of Disparity, and we were in Riga, or like in Latvia, shooting Dream State at a lake while this was out. So it's just always so much. You cannot really sit there and read all the comments because there's like 5 million things happening at once.
Yeah.
But I think people are excited and really, really good feedback so far for the released singles. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
The entire album is so good front to back.
It is incredible.
Oh, you've checked it out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Once again, I still haven't learned anything.
Oh, it's amazing. Oh,
Thank you.
So you guys are recording the music videos still kind of as you go, because I remember for the last record we had chatted and you mentioned you guys had like a week to do all of the, or even less than that, to do all of the music videos like in one shot. So you guys kind of
like
doing
3
them as you
days.
go.
Yeah.
Oh man, last time with Run, it was just a nightmare what we've done. But this time it's been spread out a little more because we recorded technically the first video last year because the song Malthus we released is also on this album, and it was just a in-between release. And we were on tour with Electric Callboy, so there was so much going on. So that one was shot, and then this year we gave us a little more time, but it was also mostly 2 videos in one go.
Gotcha.
So we shot, Uncontrolled, The Echoes of Disparity in one shot, like in 2 or 3 days. And then the new ones, Dream State and Decarabia, which will be out soon as well, were shot in the same time as well.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
Makes
Glad
sense.
you guys are taking it a little easier this time and not
Tiny bit,
cramming
yeah.
onto a week.
But we flew to another country, so it was a little more dramatic, let's say it like that.
Yeah.
But we had a crew for the first time, like a real crew, makeup artist,
My
people
goodness.
there, light crew, set designers. So yeah, we had it a little easier this time.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what was that experience like, just kind of having the full experience of set crew, makeup artists, all that shit?
I think it was just a relief to kind of be more of an artist and focus more on the video and not focusing on how's everything going to work. We were working with Pavel again from Tre Film, who also does Imminence and NSOK and many bands. He does really good videos, and we've done Paradise and Flames and Heads Up with him already. But this time we talked to him and he said, well, if you want to make it bigger, you'll have to come here because with the budget we have, it's hard to do that where you live because Germany is much more expensive. And so it was easier for us to fly there and have a crew because that would have not been possible if we shot it here again.
Yeah.
And it was just, as I said, a relief to be more of an artist. And I'm always the creative director, and I also think of all the looks, and usually I also do the guys' makeup. And this way I could also focus a little bit more on my makeup and enhance everything more. And we had someone who also checked while we shot that stuff won't like smudge or fall off. So you could just focus more on the video itself. So it was just so cool to have more people there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
Hell yeah.
fucking awesome. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yeah. Oh man, the cover art. This is our first interview, by the way, or my first interview for this album. So
Oh.
I'll still have to figure out even how I think of things because the artwork was a little problematic. I'm not sure if I can even share this, but I will.
Okay.
Because we worked with someone, with an artist we found on Instagram, and we had this idea of a head in the beginning, of like a head that's distorted and silver, and I'll come to the title afterwards. We ended up not being so happy about the result, but still wanted to use it, and did some adaptations, and it was some misunderstandings on both sides, I guess. And we sent it over to our label, and they were like begging us to change the album cover. They were
Damn.
begging us, and we were like, "Holy shit, is it that ugly?" And they're like, "Yes." So yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. They said it looks like EDM and stuff, and it doesn't look like metal at all. And then we had a little internal discussion, like, well, do we give a fuck about this or not? Because we as a band don't care about that genre thinking anyways, as you could have maybe noticed from the album. It's quite open and diverse, but we ended up finding a compromise, and that's the Now cover of just the colors. And I think it still works, and it's really nice because the main idea, the album title Distortion, comes from the term cognitive distortion from psychology. And that's also what this album is about different kinds of mental illnesses and a distorted view on the world. And the album cover is kind of trying to represent that with all the different colors and the distorted colors. And yeah, that's it.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Makes
Glad
sense.
you guys were able to pivot from the original cover art to now the new and updated one.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for the album?
Yeah, also that was a pain. Yes.
Oh my god.
It has all just changed from being just 3 people in Berlin trying to be a band, from actually being on tour suddenly. We started in COVID, and we've been already on tour and had another tour, and everything just happened so fast. And it was just there was so less time for me than I ever thought for creative things.
Yeah.
And I was also so stressed and overwhelmed, and we still work and stuff, and all these songs are real, and what I'm singing about is real, so it's really hard to just function. And I really struggled writing this album this time because lack of motivation, depression, plus I had a infected wisdom tooth and a root canal infection.
Oh,
and
shit.
had a surgery right before New Year's Eve, and we had to shift the entire studio session because I couldn't use my jaw. Because, yeah, it was just all a last second finish, to be honest. It was so stressful. But I think it somehow made it even more realistic and more authentic, because it was just made in a burning chaos situation.
Yeah.
And yeah.
My goodness. So you already have this lack of motivation, overwhelmed, depression, and then on top of that, then you have the infected wisdom tooth and the infected root canal. How
While
did
having
you
time issues with the
Exactly.
album.
Oh my goodness, how did you push through that to actually start and finish the album and just kind of get to this point now?
Sometimes I don't even know, really. I think it is still something you burn for so bad, and you just love so much. And I'm gonna be honest, I think the idea of this job, of this thing, being an artist, is very different from the reality, especially when you don't live from it yet and you still work, because it's so much stuff. It's just so much work and so much travel, and also physical wise, it's just heavy. Also vocal wise, I had lost my voice on tour many times. And I think it was just the music itself that helped me, because I really needed a place to get all these feelings out. And I tried to kind of forget that it is a to-do and try to just feel into it like a diary. Once again, that's what I always say. And that's kind of what helped me, because I was like, okay, I'm trying to not see this as a task right now that has a time limit and pressure. I'm just trying to use this as I always do, way to let feelings out. And that's how I wrote a lot of songs very, very quickly suddenly, because it was just coming out of me like, like all these emotions were just, going out of me. I think that's kind of that's how it works.
Yeah, makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. So what song off this album took the longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
Which one took the longest to write?
Mhm.
Oh, let me think. Because songs are even, they were all almost done at the same time, as I said,
Oh.
because I delayed it quite a lot because of being so overwhelmed. So our guitarist Manuel pre-wrote a few demos already, and I was kind of struggling also, like, what kind of music do I even want to do? What do I want to continue as? Do I want to scream still? Because I had so many vocal issues. That's why I just had so many issues with starting, because I was overthinking, like, who am I? What do I want to be?
Oh wow.
Do I want to keep going? Do I not want to keep, like, it's so many thoughts. And so most of them were done at the same time. When it just started flowing, it all just, yeah, went very nicely. I think one we worked on the most maybe would have been Dream State, I guess, because it started out being an instrumental. It was one of the last songs we did for the album. So right before the studio, and I was like, I just cannot work with the instrumental. So I sat down on the piano and started playing some chords and sang over it.
Yeah.
And then I just did the chorus almost the chorus that is now. And I was like, can we work around this somehow and edit and make a kind of new song with a similar vibe out of this? And yeah, it became Dream State and how it is now. And I was so glad that I decided to still work on the song, because it's now one of my favorite songs, and it's also a single. And yeah, so I think that might have been the longest one.
Oh yeah,
Gotcha.
all right. So how'd the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, closer be a closer, shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
We had no direction when we wrote this. It was just pure, as I said, time pressure and pure creativity and emotion. And when we were in the studio, it was kind of the first time we thought about structuring things. There was one that was for sure not going to be a single, which was They Take What They Want. If you can remember, that one is like the very, very aggressive one.
Yeah.
Also first time for us to have such a, I think, aggressive song. So that was clear that this wasn't going to be a single. And one song where I immediately knew that it would be a single was Stick Arabia. And that was also one of the songs I was happiest with while hearing the demo already, because I started the song and then this melody started, din, do, 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 din, din. And I was like, that's a hit. That's like,
Yeah.
I love the song. I just fell in love right away. And I was like, this has to be a single. Like, this is the almost strongest song for me, and I love it. And that one gave me lots of motivation and power also to work on the album.
Yeah.
And yeah, for opener, I thought it would be cool to have like this older song, Malthus, right at the top somewhere to kind of introduce people with something they know. And the last song, so I did the order after the songs were recorded, and I sat down and thought of, once again, what kind of feeling do I want people to have while going through this album? And I always try to get people out with a good emotion out of an album.
Yeah.
Because Manuel wanted to have They Take What They Want as the last song, which would have just destroyed everyone. Like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, like, okay, what the fuck is going on with Future Pals now? So I was like, no, let's kind of get the curve and sum it up nicely. And the last song, Amethyst, is kind of a love song, actually. And it's supposed to give you the emotion you're supposed to have is like anxiety, or that's what kind of should represent. But that and anxiety, and in a world of so much trouble, of war, of climate change, of whatever it is, you still have that feeling of love and trust and have someone you can lean on to, and that's kind of your hope and your kind of light in this shit. And that's the feeling I wanted people to have while leaving this album. Like, okay, the world is horrible and mental health problems are very shit, but there are always sparks of hope. That's kind of what we always do and try to talk about.
Hell yeah, I love that.
The hope.
Yeah.
Are you able to kind of give bookends on like when the album process started for you guys and then when it wrapped up? Because the last record came out in 2022, and then it felt like nonstop touring for you guys up until probably right about now. So I'm curious, like the start and the end.
For the album, as I said, the demos were there already. I think maybe even 2022, because that's when Malthus was done. We recorded Malphus, I think, at the end of 2022, right before the Electric Callboy tour. And we also had Uncontrolled written already, which also they kind of sound like they were done at the same time, I think. But we have even finished it. Yeah, we've finished the demo, but we knew we wouldn't have time for the studio, and that we wanted to record everything at like not 1 month, but I think it was 1 week, 1 week off, 1 week, 1 week off. And that was in January and February this year. So not too long ago, we finished just recording it in the studio. And the demos were almost all finished in December/January, because that's when I started doing vocals for it. So the process wasn't even that long. So we basically came off our first ever European headline tour, which ended in December. And on that tour, I already got that wisdom tooth thing happening. The tour ended, my voice was gone. I had the wisdom tooth infection, and I just had to do the album right away, actually, So it was all kind of the end of 2023 and the early 2024.
So you guys aren't even like sitting on the finished product for a year. Like it was recorded, mixed, mastered, and then like a release date was set, and it's just it's go time.
Yes,
that's
we were almost scared that we would have to delay the release date because of that entire wisdom tooth issue. And also out of time issues, we even kicked one song out of the album. But I'm actually kind of glad right now, because it would have mixed up the album a little too much. It was like a ballad thing, very sad song. But yeah, we didn't have time anymore, and it was really already, oh my god, that one day I think I was in the vocal room for like almost the entire day, just screaming. And I was on antibiotics that week, and I was
that's fucking wild.
Oh my god. We just had to function.
Jesus Christ. There will be one interview that we do where you guys are on a normal timeline, but so far we have not had that opportunity yet.
But to be fair, the planning was okay. So the planning was, if I would have started earlier with the demos, it could have worked easier. And we all could not see that this tooth thing would happen. Like I didn't even knew that a wisdom tooth could like kill you this much. No one like told me or warned me. Like I couldn't do anything. It hurt so bad, because it pushed against my other tooth, and there was a nerve going here. And my entire face just hurt for weeks. And that was, but it can be worse, you know. There are worse things in life like that. But it was all very, very brand new. But I think that's cool, because I'm quickly bored, and I hate when things stay the same. So for me, this is the best case, because now I have something very new. And I'm so excited to share it right away with the people, because Dream State, we just recorded the video a few weeks ago, and it's coming out this week. So that's so cool for me. I love this more than waiting for like a year or months, because this way you can still identify so much with what you've done.
Yeah, exactly. Like when an artist is like, "Yeah, we sat on this record for 3 years," I'm like, "Do you even relate to it anymore?" Like,
oh, I personally wouldn't. I don't like that. It's like it's a different you, and this way it's still very, very you.
Exactly. Hell yeah.
Absolutely. So would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record? I know you went into it a little bit in the beginning, but if you want, you could go a bit more in depth if you'd like.
Yeah. Oh, so much, to be honest. It's just my headspace as a human in general. Like, what do I feel like after experiencing an arena tour, after touring for the first time in my life, having now 5 European tours, I think. We've done NSOK, Battle Beast, Electric Callboy, our tour. So 4 European tours, one of our headline tour in Germany. And then doing festivals. This year we play like the biggest festivals here in Europe, almost all of them, which is insane to me, to be honest. It's very weird. And the jump from, okay, you're suddenly gonna be on an arena tour was very weird for me to even I don't know. I just felt like I'm out of place the entire time. Like, why would I belong on a stage this big? Why are we that lucky? And I started questioning myself a lot more than who I was maybe the last time we talked. I was very looking forward to all of this and thought, yeah, let's go, like give 200%. And then suddenly I kind of noticed like my mental health maybe tries to get me down and says, you don't deserve this. You are not good enough for this. This is too early. And all these thoughts came up. And yeah, the touring stuff was just kind of rough, while not having too much money, being on a mini tourist bus, barely having any sleep, me losing my voice many times. I just focused. I noticed that my head tried to focus on the more negative things suddenly, and feeling very overwhelmed. And also private things happened, like relationship-wise or family-wise. There's always a bit of trouble, and mental health is always a topic in my life, not only for me but also for my close people. Most of my best friends are very depressed and went to hospitals already, and are very suicidal as well. And almost everyone I love hates life. It's kind of hard to say that, but I always struggle with that topic. And someday you just kind of feel like, oh, I need a break from all of this.
Yeah.
And I think that's just my headspace for this album. It's like, I kind of need a break, and I'm kind of done, but I keep going. I keep fighting, and I want to be gone, but I still want to go. And it's kind of like a fight between two sides in yourself, like a one that keeps dreaming and wants this, and the other one who wants to give it up and lose it all.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's more written in the presence. Like the older albums were more about my past and all that stuff, but I think this album is a lot more about the band and my current life, and how it feels to keep functioning even though you are mentally ill or exhausted.
Yeah.
And that's the headspace.
Yeah. Is there any sort of like additional anxiety going into this, putting out such a deeply personal piece of music that is very much you in the present?
I mean, that's what we've done since day one. And we've written songs like Lately and Illusionist, which are also like about domestic violence that I've been through, and stuff about my past. And I think this album is actually even less of that, because we have songs also about like They Take What They Want, which is more about narcissism and war. And we have songs like The Echoes of Disparity, which is about female rights and female empowerment, which is something super new. So we have a few songs that even focus on something else, and I focus more on the emotions and less on the personal information. It's all more about the feeling. And I think it's not scary or too intimate, because every person feels and every person has their problems. So therefore, I think I would love to have an album like this and see it and see I'm not alone with all that stuff. So that's more what I think. I hope
Gotcha.
people can relate. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And going back to kind of how you were feeling unworthy, or even kind of the sense of imposter syndrome when you were on tour, how did you tackle that? Do you now feel confident and, yeah, I'm fucking awesome and I fucking deserve this tour. I deserve to be on this stage. I'm doing great. Or is it still kind of something that you're struggling with?
I still 100% struggle with this. I just had it. We played Greenfield and Nova Rock this weekend, and when I went on the first show of this run, I was like, oh, I have such big anxiety right now. Like I could cry, and I don't feel like I don't feel like I deserve this right now. And since I struggled a bit with the screaming, I now took a coaching, 10 hours of coaching, and I still feel like I'm not perfect. And I just criticize myself so much. And I think it is that you suddenly have these big stages. It's so different from thinking and dreaming about it and then being on there and having like 10K plus people looking at you and being like, okay, what do you want to show us now? Like, deliver.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't even know that would happen to me, to be honest. I didn't know that would happen to my brain. But I keep like therapy. I had therapy for almost 2 years, and I try to keep thinking that your thoughts are not you. And that my head tries to manipulate me a lot of times and tries to see the rather negative things. but I have to tell me the opposite, like, no, you deserve this and you're working on yourself and you will improve, and if you're still not happy, try to improve. But I try to kind of tell myself in that moment, no, you deserve this. And I do some breathing exercises, for example, that I learned once, when you do like this thing with your nose. I don't know if you're aware of that. It's like you close, you close one side of your nose, breathe in, hold it, breathe out of the other side. And that's all I do. And then I go on stage and I try to tell myself, no, you are good enough, you're good enough, you're good enough. Try to manipulate affirmations.
Yeah, damn right. And I just want to say, you guys, you fucking deserve all the success that is coming in right now. You guys are fucking awesome. Very talented.
Thanks.
Great. Just, you guys are doing fucking awesome. Don't listen to that fucking fake little voice in your head who's telling you the opposite, because you deserve everything.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it is tough. I think maybe some other people can relate to this. It's like, maybe even with their workplace or whatever, I think it's just this little stupid demon trying to destroy things for you, and you have to
You gotta fucking choke it out.
Just have to like get it away. But yeah, it's a daily thing. It's a daily little conflict. Yeah.
Absolutely. So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should do in the car with friends, in dark headphones on? Is it a workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
Well, I don't even know. I'm trying to remember how I listened to it the first time, and I don't even know. I usually just sit here with my headphones and focus, because I like to be alone and intimate and reconnect with this album. And I think I would tell everyone to do that as well, because it is so real and has so much emotion in there, even though there are party songs in there. But if you listen closely, they also have a pretty deep message. So yeah, I would recommend to sit down, maybe with headphones, or have a walk somewhere nice in nature and listen to it. And the first time you've listened like that, that's good. And the second time you can party on tour.
Damn right. So this one should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
I think it'd be similar to the last album. I would say colorful. Emotional. And open, because we have many different genres in there this time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what I feel going through this, but I feel like they should feel some strength, because no matter how sad these songs are, I feel like they're very powerful and kind of like moving you, and they sound like you kind of want to dance and have breakdowns. So it should give you some strength, I think.
Oh yeah.
So are you able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album, positive or negative?
I'm just gonna go with one of them. For me personally, when we shot the video for Decarabia, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Nobody will. It's just a random demon. Like, I haven't.
That's great.
We even had we finally even had a discussion when we recorded this. Our producer was like, "Is this pronounced that way? Because it sounds like not." And then we checked on Google. It's like, "No, it's pronounced that way." He's like, "I'm sure it's not." And I'm like, "You know what? I'm just gonna make it up. It's pronounced that way now, like how I do it."
Yeah.
No, that's the way how I say it. Decarabia. But yeah, that song is like a very, very bittersweet love song. Very bittersweet, because it's about 2 people who like kind of lost love and hope for life, but they love each other. And it's so hard if 2 people are depressed and dating, because both have to keep pushing each other up. And it's so many emotions, and that's what the song is about. And it's also kind of like a party song in a disco. And we shot this video in like an old disco somewhere in Latvia. And we had actors, like 2 actors who were doing the couple part. And me just watching this with the music. And it was just a strong moment. I don't even know. Even though we made that video a little bit silly with having a very funny, I mean, you don't know because it's not out there yet. But we had I took this Decorabia demon and made it funny. So we got a camera guy, behind the scenes camera guy, gave him a very funny demon mask, and he was a DJ with like star glasses and a golden coat. And
Badass.
it was just so silly and funny, even though the song is so deep. But watching that couple, I don't know, it just gave me such a good feeling of you. Sorry, my English. I haven't talked English today, but it's like what I've experienced and all the pain I've been through, and there's been so much more pain, and especially the song was very painful and real to write, because I am in a relationship with someone who is really depressed, and it's even worse to watch someone you love being in pain, way worse than yourself being in pain, I think, because you feel so hopeless, helpless, and don't know how to get that person out of there, and you're so scared of losing someone you love. And watching that I was just kind of proud of myself that I could get these emotions out and show people what it kind of feels like. And to me, that was like a very magical moment of just sitting there, seeing the screen and seeing this entire video happening. And I don't know. It's hard to explain because it's just a feeling in that moment.
Yeah, I got you. Makes sense. And for the last couple questions, we're going to shift completely away from music. So if you could be one animal for the rest of your life, what animal would you be and why?
I love that transition.
Right?
That's a hard question because I used to be a panda lover. Like I used to have a YouTube channel called It's Panda Core. I have a panda tattoo. But I kind of, I don't know. I kind of lost that thing. But I think, and I heard that pandas are very like kind of stupid because they eat stuff that kind of doesn't help them, bambus, and they are doing very like not helpful things for them. But I think I would be a panda.
Yeah.
They just chill.
The pandas doing dumb shit is like my TikTok feed, like the compilations that I love those fucking things.
I think it's kind of like me. It's like a self-destructive little funny bear. I don't know. I'm gonna be a panda, whatever.
All right.
And if you could have lunch with any celebrity or artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I'm just meeting like so many people I look up to. So I just saw Avril Lavigne live this weekend. That was already insane to me. So I'm gonna have to think of someone. I don't know. I think it might be Hayley Williams because she's just been such a big inspiration right next to Avril Lavigne for me to do all of this. And I would love to hear her stories about how she feels about all of that stuff, all about being like very successful and also mental health wise, how everything goes. And she's just a very great artist, I think. And I hope to meet her sooner or later.
I hope you can as well. That'd be fucking awesome.
And for this last question, boom, you're on a desert island. You can bring one movie, one album, and one person. Who and what are you bringing?
Oh my God. I'm not a big movie person, but I love anime. Can it be a serious, like anime series? Shit. I don't know. I think I might take Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, if anyone knows about that. That's, I think, my favorite anime to watch. And what was the other thing? A person and what else?
An album.
An album. I think the album would be, because I don't own many, but I have After Laughter of Paramore. And I love this album because it's such a sad and happy album at the same time. Yeah. And I would just put this on because being on an island would make me pretty sad, but I still want to dance.
Yeah.
So exactly. I have both in one.
Yep.
Yep.
And person, I think I would take my boyfriend or my younger sister.
Perfect.
I cannot decide right now, but
that's all right.
That's right.
So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Yeah, go get this album. Go see us on our headline tour on fall, and it will be a very good one. I feel way more motivated now, and I've been healing a bit. I've been working on my voice. We've been working on our crew, worked on everything, and it's going to be very, very cool. So all come and party together.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Sal. It's been Maria from Future Palace, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.